Today I've got some new forest decor ideas for you. Keep watching. I'm Brandy, and this is Making It My Own DIYs. Welcome. The first project is going to be I Believe in Magic wall sign. I've got some ribbon here. One is just a Dollar Tree mesh, and then another little burlap piece. These are wall stickers from Dollar Tree. I love the colors. Look at these beautiful lunar moths. And then this one, and they match. So we're gonna use these together. I think they'll be good. And they were $1.25. These are the signs you can currently, I believe, still get at Dollar Tree. We're going to use 2 of those. You're going to cut and remove the hangers and the stickers and whatever else they have on there that we don't need for our project. You can leave them side by side or flip them around, and I thought, let's just flip them around. We're going to need to put something on the back to have a little stability. I'm just going to use pieces of cardboard because oftentimes you have cardboard laying around somewhere in your house, and this could be something we can all use. Popsicle sticks, my paint stir sticks were all packed away, so we're going to make it work with this. This is absolutely not a project that you're going to want to use on a double pane door, a door that's got glass on one side. No, you want to use this against the wall or on a wooden door, unless you want to wrap the back, but you can see in a moment there may be a problem with that. So let's just go with how I'm doing it here. I decided that maybe this mesh would be cute behind the stars, so we can kind of take advantage of the whole starry sky, magical forest type look. And I'm cutting these pieces of mesh ribbon down just enough to cover the back. Then to tape it in place, you can either use tape. If you have some like package tape, you could certainly use that, or you could use a little bit of hot glue and some paper. Because it's meshy, there's a lot of open spots and you need something to hold it in place. So the little pieces of scrap paper do the job perfectly, and you get to recycle a little bit. You can sometimes get this cardstock behind the stickers that you get at Dollar Tree. You can just save that backing and cut it into strips to use for these kind of projects. So I'm liking the look of that. That's nice. So we're going to do the same thing over here on the other star on the other side. You can definitely use a ribbon that you can't see through. And if you do that, then you can cover the entire back and you won't even know because you'll still be able to see the ribbon through the star. Now we have our 2 mesh stars on there, and we have our sign backing ready to apply our stickers. And like I said before, they're wall stickers. So we're going to put Believe in Magic on here. If you need a little help with spacing, you can always leave it on the backing. And I'm just showing you can use a weeding tool. You can get one at Dollar Tree, and you can get, I think they're pink colored in their crafting section. But I got annoyed, so I'm peeling them off. I am just going to start with the center. Again, you know, I rarely drag out the ruler for what it's intended to be used for. So I'm just going to start with eyeballing it, and then the middle letter, and then working my way outward from the middle. This helps me get my spacing fairly even. I'm not looking for accuracy. These are crafts, and these are homemade, handmade pieces that we do here together. So we're just going to do the best we can. I want to make these crafts something that everyone can do, that you don't have to be an advanced crafter, you know, that it's suitable for every stage of our crafting. It's a little bit of something for everybody, right? So I'm going to continue along inside outward and move my pieces up onto that upper board there, which we secured with some cardboard or popsicle sticks, whatever you want to use. All right, now we can put in on there, and the little heart that dots the eye is attached to it. So just be careful when you pull these off. They're pretty strong, but you know, if you tear them, just be sure when you place them down that you get them very close to what they originally look like. Got this star, and now I've got a little moon beside here, a crescent. And then the beautiful, beautiful moths. These little antennae on top, you can just gently remove those with a weeding tool to keep them from tearing off. And then you can just put these wherever you like on here. If you can't find these wall stickers, any wall sticker will do. You can pick any theme that you like. If you're not into moths and the forest theme, they have plenty of wall stickers that are floral, and you can use those instead. So I encourage you to think about layering your pieces instead of leaving everything flat and evenly spaced. It kind of adds to the magic of it. If you've got little things weaving in and out and bobbing in and out and flying, it kind of gives some motion to your work. And that's fun for me. It's fun for me to do a little something unexpected. Just got to think outside the box and do what makes you happy. All right, so now I'm going to gently pull off the magic. This is all one word. It is not divided up, so it's going to be, I guess you could say, a little bit easier to put down. The really good thing about these wall stickers are that they're made to peel away, so you could change it up, and which makes it great when you're putting these stickers down on a piece of work like this, because if you don't get it on the right spot, you just pick it back up and you move it. You just got to be gentle and careful when you do it, but you can certainly do it. So you just lift it up, get the piece in the proper place, and then press it down. I'm not even using a squeegee because not everyone has a squeegee. I think everyone should have a driver's license, but you do you, boo. If you don't, use your fingers. We can still make it work. Look how easy this is. This is very beginner friendly. So we're going to just tuck this one underneath and have this moth flying in front of it. These are so pretty. If you've ever seen a lunar moth, they are absolutely beautiful. But they're all green. These are very colorful and playful and kind of watercolory. But yeah, they're very pretty. A bright, beautiful bright green color. Kind of like the stars that's stuck to my finger, as we're now applying these little stars all over. Now some of these are from the Believe in Magic. Those are the ones, the larger stars, and then the smaller stars are the ones that came off of the moth backing. You put your sticker down and you don't really like the way you have it or where it's at, just move it to another place. Again, with layering, I'm taking these little blue butterflies and just add those here and there because they're sweet and fun. And these colors are so pretty together. There's another one. You could also draw on anything that you want to draw. If you want to put some glitter on here, you can do that. You can just really do anything that you would like to do to make it your own. And that will be wonderful. Another little star. Now this is definitely something you could do, right? And you might even want to do these with your kids. Maybe your little girl is into this look and she likes these colors. That would be perfect. Now for an extra little surprise, I'm going to pop a butterfly sticker on one side, flip it over, and put the butterfly right on the back. And you press the two together and it sandwiches that mesh ribbon right in between that paper from the sticker, and she will hold in place and not fall off without any hot glue. How about that? I think that's cute that you can see right through it. And we're going to do it with the little moons too. I still have stickers left from both of the projects. Even when I'm done, we'll have another project to do. And yeah, I still have some left. So I'm very happy about that. 3 projects and I have stickers remaining. Who doesn't love a good sticker? Now you can cover that with paper if you want, but I decided not to cover mine with paper. I'm just going to put a hanger on it. There's a hole in this end, so we're going to go with that and use that same hole over again. We're just going to feed a little piece of jute through there. You can use baker's twine, jute, ribbon, whatever you want to use. And then I'll tie a double knot here. And then make sure that it doesn't slip through. Trim it. And then I'm going to stretch it across and see how much we're going to have behind there to hang it up. off of a nail or whatever. I mean, you know, it doesn't take a lot. This stuff is very lightweight. Going on over to the other side, and we're gonna fake this. We're gonna fake it, okay? Because there's no hole on this side, so we're gonna fake it. I'm going to put a little piece of paper and glue to hold this string in place. Press it down, squish it in there, make sure it's got good contact. I'll trim it off where you can't see it on the front or the side. Trim the excess off on the back there. And then we want to repeat this look on this side. All you have to do is take that little scrap, make a double knot. You want to trim one end down almost to the knot, but not exactly, because then it might come apart. So almost to it, and then leave a little bit left on the end. So we're going to make this look on this side by adding a little bit of hot glue and then pressing that knot right down into it. And then now it looks like it's going through. Perfect. So easy. Okay. And now it's able to be hung wherever you would like to hang it. Inside the house, outside. This would be really cute in a nursery too, I think. So I just hung it outside for you so we could see through the stars and what that looks like. What a simple and cute little project. This didn't take us very long. It didn't take a lot of different types of paints or glues or anything like that. So I hope this is something that has inspired you to maybe make a sign like this of your own. Thank you so much to my channel members. You people are so awesome, and I appreciate you so much. The magic window fairy charm is next. I'm going to use a little bit of water, a sponge. This is the bath sponge piece I cut up. I'm going to have a fairy. Mushrooms, of course. You can't have one without the other, right? Greenery. I will be changing the colors up. Yes, I will. 2 of these little frames from Dollar Tree. Some paints. I'm actually only going to use the green of this one and this Java brown paint. I will dampen this sponge, making sure that I don't drip it on my table. Just so it's damp. We don't want it sopping wet. We don't want to squish it out. We just want to make sure it's wet. My paint's getting kind of crusty and dry. It's been moved around a lot. So I'm just going to dip into it. I mean, why not? And just pounce it up and down and move my fingers back and forth so that there's no distinguishable pattern anywhere on there. I want it to be just all over it. My idea is to have this like an archway or a window until just right into the magical wilderness. And I want it to look like it's not all dark, it's not all solid, almost like the way it looks when you see the light filtering through the trees. I absolutely love the look. So what you see in the woods, if you've ever been deep into the forest, is when you look where the light flows through, you see rich browns and greens and moss and the light. It's beautiful. I encourage you, if you don't go into the woods, to go to a park, go to a garden area somewhere and just relax and look and just, I'm telling you, it really helps creativity. It really helps with creativity for me to go out into nature. So once both sides are done, and I've got as much paint as I'm going to put on them, you can see I don't have it solid. I'm going to dry them. You can let these air dry. It doesn't take long because we're not using a lot of paint, and we did add some water on that sponge. You want to do both sides, of course. And then when it's dry, I'm going to go back with green. Use any color green you like. I believe that this bottle said moss green, and I'm going to dab that all over. I did rinse out the sponge because I didn't want to muddy it up with all that dark paint that was in there. And I'm going to use the same process here. I'm aiming more toward the spaces that are covered in less paint. But I do want to leave some of that natural wood color underneath because that gives it that look of light filtering through. And that's what I'm going for. So I started off with the fairy with the blue hair and the blues and the colors that matched the moths over there. But I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. I'm going to save that for another project. I'm definitely going to use it, but not in this project. I really wanted this to be a little more woodsy and natural. So I've changed up to a different fairy and different greenery. So just use whatever you want to use. The options are limitless when it comes to this. When we did the Crafty Cruise getaway, my project was actually a fairy charm, and we did it on a wreath form. And I loved it. My little fairy is so happy she's living in my ficus right now. I'm very happy. Okay, so once both sides are done, you're going to dry. Then you're going to have something to make this into a boxed area. You've got to have something to hold it. These little rounds are wood rounds that came from Dollar Tree in a package, like wood slices. And they're the perfect size. They're the perfect size without interfering with the pattern or that filigree shape around the frame. So I'm going to use it. This time I did not rinse the sponge. It has got black and green on it because this is not going to be that noticeable, but I don't want it to stand out. So I want to be sure I cover the entire thing with color and there's no light that's going to show through. So front, back, and all around the edging. And then making sure that that dries thoroughly, because if you don't let it dry thoroughly and you put glue on it, it is just going to repel and it's not going to stay together. Look at my filthy hands, y'all. Ugh, what a mess. What a mess. They look rough, but it comes off. You can get it off with a little dish soap and a little scrubbing action and some salt. You can get it off. So this is how they look once they are dried. Just exactly what I wanted. Loving it. And then because of this shape, it allows me to sneak these little pieces in between and sandwich these two frames together without it being very noticeable. And I like that. It's camoed in there. I'm just going to use hot glue to put these together. This is another project where you're not going to have a lot of weight. And if you don't have a lot of weight and you're keeping this indoors, I'm not really concerned about longevity and what the humidity and wind might do to it. So this was the perfect solution for that. I'm just making sure that you can't see it on the inside. You can see where I'm putting it here. Make sure you scooch it over. You can slide it in that glue if you need to get it in the right position. And then that'll look nice. You can barely see, right? You can barely see it. So I'm going to go back over these little rounds with glue. Pick my best side. And we're going to squish those together. Sorry about the light through the window like that. It was getting late in the day. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue in these little half round areas because it sits right on top of that round that's in the middle. And that's just going to help hold it in place. You certainly don't have to do that. And if you want to use E6000 or some other type of glue here, then you are welcome to do that. Take liberties, people. Take liberties. I'm just going to hold this down a little bit with some weight, and then I'm getting the little glue strings off of here too with my heat tool. You don't have to do this. You can wait till it's cool and pick it off with your fingers, or you can use your hair dryer. Now we have this little elevated piece. Perfect. So our little window frame. Now we're going to start embellishing it. So more little pieces from Dollar Tree. These are little sticks, I guess, little sticks that are pre-cut, and you can get them in bags at Dollar Tree. In the garden section is where I normally find those, and there's some bigger pieces too that are like almost like stumps, and but they're, well, you'll see here in a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. So right in this particular frame, there are lines or like little openings, and it seems to be the perfect little ditched area to put one of these little round pieces so that it's not falling off. It just kind of sits in there and allows the glue to grab, and it's perfect. It makes it perfect. A crafter's dream, if you will. Okay. Pressing those in, making sure they stay there. I want them to dry. I'm going to go up to the top and do that. You can do like a dry run and just kind of place them around and see what you like. I know that I want to leave some spaces in between to tuck little mushrooms in. So I'm keeping that in mind as I choose what lengths and widths that I use here. See the different colors? And some have little stems and some are perfectly cylindrical. And some have like a sideways slice, so they fit nicely up to the next one. They butt up next to each other pretty well. And continue around, and you can extend it past the edge of the frame if that's what you want to do. You know, we don't sweat the small stuff, so just however you want to do this is perfect. I just didn't want to cover up the pattern completely because I love that. I think it's pretty. It's a pretty cut. Now I have a little space right here where I can put a mushroom, and I'm gonna go part way down and leave a little space on the other side so it is not symmetrical for another little mushroom or goodie. If you don't have mushrooms or can't find them in the little fairy garden sections, you can use flowers to do the same thing, or a little pine cone or acorns. Just let your imagination run wild. Some of these I think I got from TEMU. I think the little bunches of 3, I think they came from TEMU, but you know, you can get them at Dollar Tree, something very, very similar. So I'm going to use a little bit more of this mesh ribbon. I am almost out, can't find any more. Are y'all still finding this at the stores or not? I can't find any more, and the green is the one I use the most of. Of course, it looks kind of mossy and woodsy to me. I'll add just a little bit of glue to kind of grab onto it, to hold it in place until I can put a little more glue on top of it. And I'm just tapping it down into the glue. It's kind of hard. There's not much surface area, so you just, be careful with it. Now I'm just using a tiny spatula to press it into the glue and kind of rake the glue across it. So as much as I can possibly get on there without making a big wetty mess. And then you can go back over the top of it with a line of glue on the bottom and both sides, if you would like. You could probably use something like a double stick tape. If you are new to my channel, I would love it if you would subscribe. I love all my folks who stop by here, and I try my best to give you something unique and original and different from what everybody else is doing. And I always like to do that with a little bit of love and encouragement. So I would love to have you here. All right, now the greenery. And I'm working on the back. So this is the back where the mesh is, and the back where I'm putting in just little scraps of greenery. You can get your scrap bucket. If you've been with me a while, you know we all have our little scraps where we put our greenery and our little pieces of stuff. You should have a bucket or a bowl or a bag with some greenery pieces that you can add. And you can do ferns. You can do any pieces you want. Doing it on the back like this and have it leaned against that mesh gives it a little more support. And when you flip it around, this is how it's looking so far. Cute. Yes, cute. Now we're going to take our little fairy. We have plopped her down with a little glue on a little stumpy piece. That's what I meant by the stumps, the bigger pieces, because she was too low down in there without sitting on something. So I decided to put her on a stump, and then we're going to put her in the middle there. But you can put yours off to the side, in the middle, whatever you want to do. And again, my fairies came from TEMU, but you can get them anywhere you want. You can even get the little garden pieces that you get at Dollar Tree and use one of those if you want to. All right, I'm going to add some more mushrooms on the top. Always take your piece and look at it up, down, side to side, at all angles, and see what looks nice and see how other people are going to be looking at it. And you can add in wherever you feel like you need. You can add moss on here if you want. But for the people who don't have moss, I'm just showing you that there are other ways that you can do it. Now we're going to hang it. And this is what's going to make it a cute little charm. You can go through the middle, or I decided to go through both of the sides. And I'm just going to run it through the front and the back. And then I'll tie a double knot in the string. You'll see me struggle because, the glasses are on the table, not on my face. You know how it goes around here. Then I'm going to go over to the other side, and the amount of string you use is just going to depend on how much space you need. If you want to hang it off a doorknob, if you want to hang it off of a wreath, if you want to hang it off of a lamp, that's totally up to you. It's going to be totally up to you to judge how much string you need there. I'll trim a little bit just to make sure that I don't have stuff sticking out all over the place. And there's our little Miss Kitty Patootie. This is so cute and small and just adorable. And here she is hanging up outside. Very easy. I know every one of you who are watching right now can do this. Go and get you some pieces from Dollar Tree. Get you some paint. You can even use Dollar Tree paint if you can find the colors. And make one of these cute little charms today. The Lunar Moth Riser is our next and easiest one. So here we go. Same sheet. I'm going to take some little pieces here. They're going to be legs for our table. And this is a Dollar Tree cutting board. Okay, we're going to glue these on. Feel free to use E6000, wood glue, whatever you have to glue yours on. To keep the pace up here, I'm going to use hot glue to show you. Give you an idea. A little hot glue, and then I'm going to place this down. Now this little ball happens to be part of a kit that I thrifted that was like Frosty the Snowman. So it's flat on the top and flat on the bottom. That's why it looks this way. You can use a round bead that's flat on one side, and it can be, it doesn't have to be flat on the bottom. Totally up to you, as long as you have enough surface on the top where you're attaching it to your board that it stays in place. You want to have plenty of room for that glue to stick down to that board. And press it in place, give it a moment. It's hot glue. Once it cools, it's ready to go. I just use my fingers to measure. That's all I do. Now we have a riser, and it's time to do the fun stuff. We're going to decorate it now. There are little greenery pieces that are in with the moths, and I'm going to add 2 of those pieces to the board. Easy, easy. And I know you can do it. See, simple. And the boards have like a finish, sort of a finish on them, so they're kind of shiny. We're going to seal this, so you're not going to have to worry about this peeling off. It won't peel off once we put the sealer on top. Again, if you need to make adjustments, if you don't like when you put a piece down, all you have to do is take it off and reapply it. Just be careful because you don't want to tear anything. They are paper, and you don't want to tear your paper. But it's pretty easy to do. Now this little riser I'm thinking would be so adorable in a girl's room. You could put, they could put their remote on it. They could put their watch on there. They can lay their phone on it. They could put their makeup, My daughter is young, she pretty much, only thing she puts on is like colored chapstick or lip gloss or something. Something like that would be really cute. Maybe their perfume bottle, little goodies on the table. You could also use flameless candles on here. If you like this look as an adult, definitely can do that. I love mixing the 2 pages together. It just, to me, is so pretty. Those colors are so pretty, and aren't they just perfect for spring and for summer? Really nice. And see, this is how easy it is to remove these. I'm going to peel that off, peel that star off, and I am going to swap places on here. And until you seal it, you can move your pieces around. If you can't find wall stickers, I'm pretty sure the other Dollar Tree stickers will peel off fairly easily. Okay, so now let's get creative. What can we do here on the side? A little bit of this dark blue chalk paint on a finger dauber. I'm going to tap it in here and go all the way around the edge of the board. You can paint the feet before you glue them on. It's totally up to you. You can do glitter. You could do a glitter sealer on here. You could just paint the feet and not do the edge of the board. It's really up to you. If you can't find feet like this, I'm calling them feet because they hold it up, you can always get a little cheap think it's a chest set that Dollar Tree has, like one you can take with you, like a travel set. If you can find those make good legs for things too. I use little plastic and little wooden pieces like that for legs on risers quite often, for feet. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. And you're just going to carefully go all the way around. If you don't have a finger dauber like this, you can just use a makeup sponge to do this. I wouldn't use probably a brush because even though I paint as much as I paint, I don't feel my confidence with a brush without getting this dark blue paint all up over my board, and I don't want to do that. So this makes it so much easier to do. Maybe you could use a paint marker if you're pretty good, holding on to one of those. Right, so now I've got the edge done. I love that. I think that really makes it pop. It's really nice. All I'm doing now is going down the edge with my finger and kind of wiping at any extra that gets on the side of it. And I'm not even concerned if a little bit, you can see on that side, a little bit kind of came over. That's okay. This is handcrafted. We're not going to sweat that over here. Nope, we are not going to do that on my channel. Oh, that's pretty easy. Now, if you did get too much on there, you could always take a little alcohol and probably wipe that back, or you can use the little sander and get that off. Really easy. Be sure that it is thoroughly dried before you put your Mod Podge sealer on here. I'm using the dishwasher safe type just because that's what I found first. That's what I grabbed out of the bucket first. That's what we're going to do. I'm using a flat brush to apply it. And I'm going to go just a thin layer all over the top of it, and then I'm going to add a little bit more because I don't want to put too much in. And the reason I say that is because generally it wouldn't matter, but the fact that we've got that royal blue paint on there, when you start using Mod Podge, it's going to get it slightly wet and it's going to lift just a little bit. So it will potentially bleed over into the Mod Podge, and I don't want you to have a streaky mess. So the clear stuff, I'll put that right back in the bottle and use over again. But the stuff that comes off and it's gotten some blue in it because I'm going over the edges now, that needs to be wiped onto a towel, and then it needs to be washed thoroughly in your sink. All right. And I also went over the feet of the table too, so that it all has the same sheen. It all has the same finish. Then let it dry. I think the cure time is like maybe 72 hours on dishwasher safe, but I'm not planning on eating off of this or putting anything wet on it. So follow the directions on the bottle to get the best out of your projects, okay? And out of your adhesives and your tools that you use. Always read. Okay, so make sure everything's dry, and when it's dried, it's got a nice little satin sheen. It was pretty. The paint is now locked in. Everything is going to stay right where you left it. I think this is super cute and so easy to do. So here is that little beauty outside. I just want to say again how important you guys are to me and how much I appreciate you being here and following me on my channel and getting excited about new things to come. It's very touching. Check out the rectangle for more, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.